Okay, a very good afternoon to everyone. We are SwapSwipe, a multi-platform consumer-to-consumer marketplace for the buy and sell of pre-loved goods. This is us, each with diverse backgrounds, brought together by a common goal to discourage excessive production and to promote the uptake of pre-loved goods. As we all know, Singapore's e-commerce industry is surging, bolstered by the stronger demand due to COVID-19. Meanwhile, the second-hand marketplace is booming and is only set to rise. But we want to take things a step further and bring the second-hand marketplace to your fingertips. Using the number of NLB books loaned as a proxy, we can see that the reading of physical books in Singapore is well and alive. This is why we chose books as our primary market. Furthermore, books are extremely wasteful, with only 38% recycled and 7.5 kg of CO2 emitted per book. From an execution point of view, all books comes with an international standard books numbering. This makes it standardized and easy for users to upload. Our team is actually quite far along in the app development process. Last year, we ran a pilot for over 6 weeks and achieved very promising results. We also validated this by running through some of our industry mentors. As you can see, they have very positive feedback. The Microsoft CTO highlighted that SwapSwipe is comprehensive and riding on to the right trends, while VC John mentioned that our app's UX is intuitive and smooth.
As you can see, it is a very simple 5 steps process. So it's like the Tinder model where you only have to upload, swipe, match, chat, and then deliver. So our first USP is the provision of end-to-end service. We provide a barcode scanning feature, which is more convenient and accurate than the manual process of uploading. Each service also comes together with delivery. You get to choose your own delivery timing, which is one of our most popular features. Initially, we learned from our barter trading experiment that even the most environmentally conscious would also appreciate some form of incentive as well, which is why we built a reward system that is twofold. Firstly, Firstly, the sellers will get a mixture of cash and points, which will be able to redeem other eco-friendly products created on our network. And secondly, this will also help to draw attention to the brand. Our secret sauce is in this recommendation, and is where we will put a considerable amount of time in future. Currently, we are using a proprietary weighted average model of macro factors such as proximity, tax, and pricing. So with increased users' data, we will gradually move towards hyper-personalized recommendation using micro factors such as your user buying patterns and browsing behaviors, and this will greatly reduce the friction of buyers in trying to find their desired books. So besides hyper-personalized recommendation, there are also 3 key factors driving our differentiation. First, we are comprehensive. We give more than 4 data points as compared to our competitors, which give less than 3. And this will help our buyers actually make a fully informed decision on what to buy. And number 2, the ease of upload actually makes it easy to onboard the sellers. So even for the less tech-savvy, they are able to then upload books. Number 3, unlike Carousel, we actually pick up and deliver to our users' doorsteps in all under a week.
In our business model, our biggest revenue stream will be taking a 30 to 50% cut for every transaction. So based on the cost of the books post-delivery, the profits will be shared between the sellers and the SwapSwipe. So in the long run, our other revenue streams will include running advertisements for clients which are B Corp equivalent and pivoting to a freemium model, potentially charging users for the advanced features. So as SwapSwipe is still at the early stages of growth, joining incubators like UNDP program will allow us to reach a large group of audience on sharing platforms such as TEDx. We also intend to prioritize holding pop-ups events locally in universities to increase online engagement, and this will complement the social media efforts. So we have set certain aims for ourselves. Our vital goal is to reach 91K users to facilitate 164K transactions. So this will amount to saving 410 million liters of fresh water and 1.23 million kg of CO2 from being released, which will align us with the Sustainable Development Goals 11, Sustainable Cities and Communities, and 12, which is the responsible consumption and production. So these are what we have in our pipeline to focus on for each half of the year. So in the short run, we are focused on stabilizing our operations and set ourselves to successes with tools to make smarter decisions. In the long run, we hope to provide a seamless, additive experience for our users. We hope to scale by increasing offerings, specifically targeting the large fashion industry, and we want to expand market with eyes on possibly funds to the eco-sensitive culture and love for books. This is the breakdown of that capital utilization, we have put in a lot of time, money, and energy, and we asked the 70K to accelerate our growth plan so that we have more traction to prove our worth when we go for our next funding round. So your support goes a very long way. So say yes to a virtuous cycle for a circular economy, and say yes to a sustainable way to shop. So thank you and welcome your questions. Thank you. May we please invite questions and comments from the judges?
I'm just trying to understand a little bit about the delivery model. So how are you planning to do that? So it's not just a SwapSwipe, then I'm a seller, I meet up with the buyer, right? You will actually arrange for the delivery.
Yeah, that's correct. So actually what happens is, say for example, Miss Liao, you're the seller, right, and Mr. Bay is the buyer. So you're actually arrange and you want to buy the book. So then in the chat itself, right, you will have a section whereby you will communicate your collection time. So we will dispatch a delivery rider once both of you have confirmed your delivery collection date and time, and we'll collect from the seller and bring it all the way to the buyer's house. So that's the delivery. Yeah.
Understand. So then, how is the delivery cost being passed on? Because the minimum price per book is at $10, right? And
That's
you
correct.
take a percentage revenue cut, and then that's shared between the sellers and yourself.
That's correct, yeah.
So how does the revenue model work around that with the delivery cost?
Okay, so if you see in the FAQ that we provided below also, there are a few, let's hold this. Yeah, so for the delivery, at the end of the day, the average cost that we are trying to approximate now is about $6.50 to around $5. So that's the current price. Because of economies of scale, we hope that in the long run, as we get more delivery and we get more transaction per trip itself, we're able to do more fulfillment. So currently, right now, because of the low number, if we are doing it at $10, it is true that it will be a profit loss because these expenses in the short run, they are it's that amount to basically your marketing costs. So as we have more people onboarded, over time we are expecting the profits for the average cost of book to be increased to more than $10. So at around $15 to $20, that's when we'll start to profit. And this is and you will have your market correction because over time, sellers are not going to price it at just $10 alone. Due to anyway, this is a free economy whereby your buyers and sellers will do a profit share only after delivery, post-delivery costs. So you expect your profits to increase, and due to economies of scale, you expect your cost of delivery to decrease, which is our main bulk of our capital utilization.
Sure, thank you for that. And your next market is France, right? Which
Yeah.
is, a market that, given the language, French speaking, the books that they read. Why do you choose France?
Okay,
I'm curious.
This is an interesting choice because there's two reasons, right? One is that over here, we're trying to find out which country actually loves to read books because this is our gateway to a larger market, which is the pre-loved market. So books is just really our first foray or our first step towards this pre-loved market. Second thing is we also need to go and consider the fact whether they are eco-sensitive because we can launch it probably in the ASEAN countries, but Singapore is really very far ahead in advance. We can consider Switzerland and a few other countries like probably China and all that, but there are also some language barrier. But in France, we were thinking maybe we can start with the English app, and then we can do probably in Australia market and a few other markets before we move on to maybe, say for example, Japan, which is also very eco-sensitive and friendly. Yeah.
We have time for about one last question.
My question is, I don't know whether I missed it. Have you have any validation or traction already, or it's still in the works?
So we actually ran our beta test last year for 6 weeks. So you can see this is our social media campaign, also because we ran the app itself on both iOS and Android store. So we had about 1,000 over downloads at the end of the whole season because we ran it for more than just the 1.5 months. This was just our social media campaign to try and market the app outwards. Yeah, because there's a lot of word of mouth as well because it's very ground traffic. It was not too bad, but at the very early onset when we started, we actually try and do a mutual swapping. So actually it's just like there's no revenue model into it. It's just really, I have a book, you have a book, I like your book, let's do a swap, right? But we realized that the model itself is not financially sustainable, and it's also not really what the users wanted themselves because they realized that there's a lot of friction. Like I have to have a book before I can get a book from you. So we pivoted to a buy and sell model, but we still want to be in the pre-love market. So we pivot from a mutual swap to a buy and sell, and if you go to the next slide, We actually have a lot of industry mentors that actually we consult, and a few of them actually have very good comments for us. In fact, Microsoft also said that given a time, if we achieve scale and we achieve kind of some form of compliance, they are also interested to see how we can join their incubator itself. Yeah, so I guess if you talk about validation, this is our form of traction. Yeah, but we expected to relaunch the new app again sometime late next month. Yeah.
Okay, so with the funding, from YAC and maybe other sources, I don't know whether you already planned out, your run rate and all that. And so yeah, I suppose you have already, have some considerations. So maybe my just comment, or advice is, it will pivot along the way as you see the traction and validation, because it's still a hypothesis that you're testing out. Okay, and the market will give you the validation as you move. All right.
Yeah, and I think what's helpful for us is that we know that we are not there's a precedence, right? You look at the growth of Carousel and look at the growth of Thrift Bookstore and all that. So even though we probably are not the first mover advantage, having the advantage there, but we know that because there's some form of activity and traction in this market, in this space, when we actually enter this market with some form of points of differentiation, we believe that there will be some form of traffic and user growth. Yeah, but noted on the pivoting here.
Yeah, but I think it's a great start with the books and focus on one niche market.
Yeah, especially with the barcode scanning, which actually is 3 seconds when you want to upload a book. So it's very hassle-free. Yeah.
All right, thank you.